Got everything laid out on my bed here, and I didn't really plan ahead and put it in any order, so if it seems a little discombobulated, that's why. The first item I've got here is my luxury light cot. This thing is tiny, as you can see, weighs I think 2 pounds, and it's great. It's a portable bed anywhere you want it. Just a couple weeks ago I slept on the lawn of an airport in it. If you are familiar with these or you have one, you'll notice that I don't have as many feet or crossbars as they come with. That's because the cot's designed for a 285-pound person and I weigh about half that. So I've gotten rid of a bunch of them to reduce the bulk and weight. But even if you do weigh that much, it's still pretty small with all the stuff connected. The way it works is these little feet set up on the outside. There's some crossbars and then some big long poles. And then tucked under here is a little nylon sling that kind of makes a hammock in between. Super comfortable. Definitely the most comfortable thing you can get in that size. Moving on. Green tea. Very healthy. I drink it on planes. Feels very luxurious having green tea and listening to Mozart on a plane. This is my underwear. I've got 2 pairs. I'm wearing one right now. I'm not going to show you those. They're made by Icebreaker. It's 100% merino wool, and these particular ones are called the Beast Briefs. And could have gotten the boxers, but briefs are a little bit smaller, and that's good for packing. Next up, also by Icebreaker, I'm obsessed with these guys, by the way, are 2 Atlas 150 Body Fit t-shirts. This one's black, this one's dark blue, you can't see it. I'm wearing a red one now, but I'm thinking about getting rid of one because these things never smell bad, they're super easy to wash, and really I don't think I need 3. But anyway, these are the best shirts you can buy. They have a whole range of them on their website. Long sleeve, short sleeve. I recommend the short sleeves because you can wear them in any climate, and we'll get to how I layer later, and you'll see that you don't really need the sleeves to stay warm. Next up, the crown jewel, so to speak, of the collection is the Speedo square belted trunks. Has a metal buckle, so you know it's classy. Back when Todd was on the trip, he had a matching Speedo, so that was good for some laughs. Here is my camera, and see, I'll put my hand in it so you can see how big it is. It's pretty small. It's full quality of a DSLR, but it's a lot smaller, especially thinner. It's a digital rangefinder. There's only 2 companies that make them, Epson and Leica. This one's much more inexpensive. The Leica is about $4,000 to $5,000. This is about $2,000. Not including any lenses. And it actually does a little bit better in low light situations than Leica. But the big advantage of the Leica is that it's a higher resolution, and it's also a little bit better like support. But they use the same lenses, so you can switch from one to the other. These are my shoes. I'm barefoot right now, meaning these are my only shoes. They're called Vibram 5 Fingers, and these are the greatest shoes you can ever imagine having. They're awesome for running. You can go in the water with them. They dry relatively quickly if you put them out in the sun. I've even done rock climbing in them. It does take a little while to get used to them because they're super thin. As you can see here, it's just a thin layer of rubber. They also don't do very well in water or snow, but I'll show you. Water meaning puddles, you're going to get wet. But I'll show you what I do about that in a second. Alright, next column. This is my hard shell. It's by Mountain Hardware. It doesn't really matter which one you buy. They're all about the same. This one's made out of Paclite. If I was buying it again, nothing wrong with this one, but I would probably buy a different one from a company called Go Light. You can go to their site at golight.com, and they have some that are even lighter, made out of different materials other than Gore-Tex. I've heard that they're pretty good. I have no experience with them, though. Down here, also for waterproofing, are my lock sacks. I also have a bunch of these things. I use them to contain stuff when I pack it, and also small ones like this I might bring to put my passport in if I think it's going to rain. Right now I've got 2 SIM cards in there, US and Panama. Moving on down here, this is a portable hard drive. It's only 100 gigs, but I'm going to replace that soon because, as you can see, I'm doing more videos. Cool thing about it is that it's USB powered. You're going to see my well, may as well show you now. This is my tiny USB cable. Short cables are much better for powering hard drives, and they're much easier to pack. You don't have to make a mess like those ones. I bought this one at a site, I think it's angledcables.com. They're custom made, they're a little bit expensive, but they're really nice quality and they're small. It's the only place you can get small ones. This here is a solar panel by My Soldius. and I'm not crazy about it. I keep it around because I figure in an emergency maybe I can charge my phone, but I don't know, it charges too slow, so I may get rid of that. Gorilla Solar has some bigger ones that are more expensive, but they really do work, and you can even power a laptop off them, which is pretty cool. This here is the Energizer combo USB charger for batteries. It does AAA and AA. You may have seen these before. I ripped the top off mine because it doesn't really do anything, and it made it bigger. It has a little USB plug here, you can see. And it does a pretty good job charging. What I like is that you can plug it into your computer and it shows you how long it has left. Right here I've got a little bag of just knickknacks, tiny SD USB card combo for transferring files. This goes to the solar panel. Some extra bits for my laptop, and a tiny screwdriver here for changing out the hard drive or opening up my laptop. That's actually been pretty useful a few times. Moving on, some passport photos. Oh, terrible photo. Guy made me brush my hair. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, this is a Sea to Summit silk liner. As you can see, it's really small, fits in my hand, and it goes with my bed over here. I just put it in there, and it makes a nice sleeping surface. This is my phone. It's the Sony Ericsson X1. I think it's the best phone on the market. The best thing is it has a full 800 by 480 resolution screen, and it's pretty good. It slides open, has a keyboard. What I like about it is it's Windows Mobile, which isn't the cleanest interface. It's not shiny like iPhone is, but it has tons of software. It can display characters in Chinese and Japanese, so I can learn those languages, do flashcards. It plays movies in full DVD quality, works as an MP3 player. I use it for a GPS a lot. I've got maps of all over the world. And it also does VoIP using some software called AgePhone. So that's all really good. Up here are my locks. This one I love. It's the Pelly lock. It's pretty heavy. It's solid brass, and it has 4 digits in the combo, which means it's really hard if I leave it somewhere for someone to sit around and unlock it. I use that on my pack safe, which you'll see in a second. These two little guys are just standard master locks. I use them to keep the zippers closed on the backpack. Pretty easy to break into, but better than nothing. Moving on, this is my laptop. It's the Lenovo X61 tablet. These days it's not what I would buy. It's about 1.5 years old. I would get the X200S, which I'm going to upgrade to soon, also by Lenovo. I like Lenovo's because they're really high build quality. They are a little bit more expensive, but if you're traveling nomad, chances are your laptop's your life, and so it's one of those things that's worth spending some money on. The reason I like this one and also the X200S is because they have really high resolution screens. This one does 1400 by 1050, and the X200 does 1440 by 900. Those are about the same. That lets you get a lot of stuff on the screen, and there have been studies that show that you're more productive if you have more on the screen. Here are my headphones. They're the Nomadic ER4S. I'd recommend you get the ER4P. It's kind of complicated about why, but basically the 4Ps can turn into these with one little adapter, and they're a little bit better for low power things like MP3 players. There's also some other good alternatives by companies like Shure and what's the other one? I forget the other one. Whetstone or something like that. Laboratories. Anyway, they're in-ear monitors. They're going to cost you a few $100 for a good one. And what's great about them are these tips, which block out all sound. They work also as earplugs. So if you're on an airplane, you really don't hear anything but your music or the movie, and that's really nice. I'd sometimes just leave them in even when I'm not listening to music. More electronics. This is the APC travel plug adapter. I think the model is INPA. I don't know what that is. It is adjustable in a million ways. I'm holding the camera with one hand, so I can't show you everything, but you can flip things up. Even these 2 prongs go in and out, and it separates into 2 to adapt to even more settings. The cool thing about it, too, is that if you look in the back here, it has a universal receptor, which means it converts anything to anything. So if you make a travel buddy along the way who has some European plugs, he or she can plug into your stuff, too.